Premier League Game Week 2 review. Let's go. Starting off at the Amex, Brighton against Manchester United. I predicted a 2-1 Brighton win, and Brighton got a 2-1 win. Perfect start for Fabian Hansel, 2 wins out of 2 with the new Brighton gaffer. Game could have been completely different though, because Diallo had the first big chance of the game, he missed. And then Danny Welbeck scored against his old club. It's just what he does, man. He always scores against them. But Manchester United did have a lot of chances in this game. You know, they equalised through Diallo, pretty lucky goal. Marcus Rashford, you're almost 27 years old. How do you not know how to stay on side, bro? He's been played out wide as well, so he can look across the defensive line. And I don't understand how it's possible for him to always be offside. Honestly, they need to get rid of man as soon as possible. The Garnacho disallowed goal as well was just like a football manager moment, man, because Xerxes on the floor and he just hits him and goes like, it's just so, it was so funny, man, I can't lie. And then right at the end, 95th minute, Brighton have Albion got the winner through João Pedro. Absolutely woeful defending from Manchester United. There were about 3 Brighton players completely free at the back post. Like, how do you defend like that? You're meant to be a big club, a top end team, and you do like, bruv, come on, man. Crystal Palace against West Ham. I predicted a 2-2 draw. West Ham won 2-0. First half was really even, you know, very end to end. Kudus and his dribbling was absolutely fantastic. Eze hit the bar from a beautiful shot, man. It was, he deserves a goal as well, given what happened last week. Edouard missed a pretty easy chance. Max Kilman, once again, was fantastic. I know it's only been 2 games, but I might need to issue an apology if he keeps playing like this, because even last week, he was really good against Villa. He got the assist for the second goal with some brilliant dribbling. Souček also made up for his last-minute miss last week with the opening goal here. It was also really nice of him to check on the ball boy. Jared Bowen was also a lot better. He looked a bit anonymous against Aston Villa, but he's much more involved in this game. Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well, he came on and he completely changed the game. He's fantastic. He was a big reason as to why West Ham scored that first goal against his former club. It's only a matter of time before he's starting regularly. Fulham against Leicester, I predicted a 1-1 draw. Fulham did win 2-1. Buonanotte, brilliant for Leicester, got an assist, that's my boy. He's going to do big things this season. Great call by VAR to allow the goal as well, because it was originally disallowed. And you know what, this is why VAR ain't going to get praised for this, but it was fair play to the officials for getting that decision right. Smith was brilliant, goal on his home debut. Iwobi also getting on the score sheet. Muniz did miss a couple good chances though, he should have done better. Both the Fulham goals came from Leicester's right side, and both scorers had loads of space, which is a big issue. They need to sort that out. Manchester City against Ipswich Town, I predicted a 5-1 Man City win. They ended up winning 4-1. Schmodix gave Ipswich a dream start, and I was thinking, is there a chance? And then a few minutes later, Leif Davis decides he's going to give away a penalty. It was great play from Savio, he earned the penalty, and then he also pressed really well for the second goal, which Kevin De Bruyne was able to put into an empty net. Absolutely awful goalkeeper from Juric though. You know, he did it a lot of Burnley last season as well. When you're going away to the Etihad, like, I get teams want to play it from the back and everything, but sometimes you just got to kick it long, especially when you're playing against the best team in the world. And Haaland scored again to make it 3-1, a really nice finish. Rico Lewis hit the bar from a very easy chance that Doku played him in for. Had both in the FPL. Should have been 4-1 at that point. But Leif Davids also should have had a penalty at 3-1, because I thought he was clearly fouled in the box and it wasn't given. Kevin De Bruyne also hit the bar from 30 yards out. It was a brilliant strike, and the way he dipped down, he's so good. So underrated. And yeah, Haaland scored a very nice hat-trick. You know, the third goal was just brilliantly placed into the bottom corner. It's just business as usual for Man City, right? Southampton against Forest, I did predict a 1-goal Forest win, and I also predicted how the game was going to go. Southampton were going to have all the ball and do absolutely nothing with it. This is what I don't rate Russell Martin. He glorifies his passing sideways for 90 minutes. Nottingham Forest had 35% possession, but they had 23 shots and 8 of them on target. On another day, this could have been mental. Southampton, 65% possession, they had about 8 shots and only like 1 on target. You can't score if you don't shoot. You can't score if you don't go forward. And, you know, even in the Championship, there were a lot of games where it was easy to play against him. It was like getting on the score sheet, he was fantastic. Both wingers are really dangerous as well. And once they start fully ticking with Elliot Anderson in the midfield as well, Murillo at the back, it's going to be a good season for Forest. Tottenham against Everton, I predicted a 2-1 Tottenham win. They won 4-0. Last year, when Tottenham played Everton at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Tottenham won 2-1, but they were by far the worst team. Everton were dominant, and on another day could have won 4-0. Tottenham started off really well. Bissouma got his first ever goal for the club. A brilliant strike as well. It's a good showing of remorse after what he did with the Balloons, obviously. And he played really well, man. Like, he was tracking back and just racing around the pitch. He was brilliant. Pickford then decided to give Heung-min Son a gift. I'm so overrated, man. He is so bad. I don't understand why people think he's top class. He isn't. Romero got on the score sheet and was just brilliant. He played some really incisive passes. Van de Ven as well, man. the fourth goal, the way he drove up the pitch, bro, at 100 miles an hour, and then played a perfectly weighted pass into Heung-min Son to get his second of the game. He's so good, man. Wilson Odobert as well was absolutely brilliant, man. He took on his defender every time he could. He put in some really dangerous balls as well. He's still very young, still a bit raw, but he will be really good. Michael Keane, though, horrendous for Everton. You know, there were so many moments where you could see Tarkowski having to tell Keane, go over there, do this, do that. He shouldn't be having to do that. And once Brentford is back in, Everton will improve dramatically, but I don't understand why Brian ain't playing in these sort of games when Brentford ain't there. And also, Decore has a 10. Sean, you got to stop this, man. He isn't a 10. He doesn't play well there. Play him deeper. Aston Villa against Arsenal. I did predict Arsenal to win, but this game could have gone so differently. The Arsenal team that was named was literally the perfect team that I think they could have put out. You know, opting for Timber for some more defensive security instead of Zinchenko, right decision. Didn't change anything else because he didn't need to. Arsenal were dominating the ball early. You know, Saka had a good chance, forced a good save out of Martinez. Watkins then decided he's going to miss pretty much an open goal. Now, I don't know how you hit it wide from that distance. Havertz had a couple chances he probably should have done a bit better with. And then Watkins decided to miss his second sitter of the game. To be fair, it was a phenomenal save from David Raya, who may have won Arsenal title with that save. But he should not have had a chance. So Watkins, you cannot hit that straight down the middle, bro. Just hit it to one of the sides, man, and he has no chance. Leandro Trossard came on, scored within minutes and with his first touch. Such a good impact sub, man. What a player. Partey also scored. Thought he had a pretty decent game. Really poor from Martinez, though. If he is really the best goalkeeper in the world, he should be saving that without any real issue. Odegaard also missed a really good chance at the end of the game that should have made it 3-0. But yeah, it was a really good win for Arsenal after their first goal. Villa didn't really look too dangerous. Morgan Rogers, absolutely brilliant performance yet again. I don't think I've seen him have a bad game since he's gone to Villa, man. His close control, his dribbling, phenomenal. Him and Cole Palmer, yeah. Man City, if you had kept them two, bruv, they would have won the league unbeaten. There'd be no chance for anyone else. There's a move where he just did both Partey and Rice. He ran past about 5 players. He is a proper footballer. Him and Ramsey together, yeah, that's like 2 Grealish regions that Villa have just formed. It's a huge statement win for Arsenal, though. Yes, they were a bit lucky, but you need luck if you're going to win a title. Bournemouth against Newcastle, I predicted a 2-1 Newcastle win. Ended up being a 1-1 draw. But one team should have won this 2-1. After a shaky 15 minutes, Bournemouth were by far the better team for the rest of the first half. They were pressing Newcastle so high up the pitch. Newcastle were way too sluggish with the ball, giving it away every time they were pressed. Yeah, Bournemouth went in with a deserved lead. Semenyo was fantastic yet again. He was so underrated last season. Solanke got all the plaudits. And of course he really got 19 goals. But Semenyo was so good. The way he can press, he can dribble past about 4 or 5 players. He has a really good shot on him as well. And he can use both feet. Like, he is a really underrated player. And I think he will explode a bit more this season. He did get the assist and he hit the bar as well. But in the second half, when Eddie Howe made his changes, Harvey Barnes came on. We saw a front three of Barnes, Isak, Gordon moving to the right, where he was a lot more effective in this game. Newcastle were by far the better team, and Trippier also made a really big impact after coming on, as did Joe Willock. Longstaff cannot be starting. With Tonali coming back, hopefully we won't see Longstaff starting anymore. I know he is obviously, one of their own. He's been playing for injury and stuff, but he is just not good enough for a top-end Premier League club. But Harvey Barnes put in a brilliant ball for the equaliser, and Newcastle were pushing. They forced Neto in some really good saves. But Bournemouth then scored, and it was disallowed by VAR for a handball, and it clearly came off his shoulder. And unless they've changed the rules of football very recently, a shoulder isn't a handball. So why was it disallowed? Oh, unless there's another angle where they could see it hitting his arm. I'm just bewildered. Bournemouth should feel hard done by that, because that would have been their first win of the season. A really good win against a really good team as well. Wolverhampton Wanderers against Chelsea. Wow, I was wrong about this. I predicted 2-1 Wolves win. They lost 6-2. Now, to be fair, when I saw the team Maresca put out, I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I was wrong about this. Because instead of playing 2 number 10s out wide, he decided to opt for 2 actual wingers. And instead of playing someone who shouldn't really be a footballer in the number 10, he put an actual number 10 there. It was almost groundbreaking. But now, fair play to him, he fixed his mistakes. The first half was really end-to-end though. Chelsea took the lead twice, but Wolves hit back twice. It was a proper end-to-end game, man. Non-stop action. Jackson went into the break with a goal and an assist. Mateus Cunha and Strand Larsen both got on the score sheet for Wolves. Cole Palmer's goal was brilliant as well. But in the second half, oh my God. Noni Madueke, I rate you so much. And it's not just from this game, but what he did here was brilliant, man. Dissing the city of Wolverhampton, which he is right to do because it is a complete dump, I can't lie. He was booed the whole game. He goes out and scores a hat-trick on their head, fam. It was brilliant. Even as a big Chelsea hater, I rated it so much, man. In the past, his attitude has been questioned a lot. Yeah, I think everyone knows he's got the ability, but it's always, you see him sometimes walking around on the pitch, not tracking back and all that. His attitude was always more about, I'm too good to defend. But I think now we've seen that actually change to a more, I'm too good because I can defend. He's always had that self-belief, which is what you need as a footballer, but we're seeing him work so much harder for the team. He's racing back in the 90th minute when they're 6-2 up and he's got a hat-trick. And I cannot rate someone highly enough for doing that. That is one of the most underrated aspects of a footballer, in my opinion, and that's why I don't rate someone like Rashford, because he never does that. Last season we hardly saw him play until the very end. He had some shaky moments, like the penalty incident against Everton. I remember Man City knocked him out of the FA Cup as well. We saw there was a little clip of him laughing after the game and whatever. His run in the team at the end of last season also coincided with Chelsea's best run of form. I remember that game against Tottenham especially. They won the game 2-0 and he was phenomenal. He was running back every time he had to. His defensive work rate did not let up once in that game, and he also kept cooking Emerson Royale when he went forward. It was a brilliant performance. I've known about this for ages. I remember telling my mate last year when Madueke wasn't in the team, if like him and Palmer together will cook, bro. Because we've seen them being the youth team, they're absolutely brilliant together every time they played. And he didn't believe me, by the way. He's a Chelsea fan. He didn't believe me. He didn't rate Madueke. I remember a couple of years ago when they first signed him and they were playing Arsenal away, 3-0 down after half an hour. Everyone had given up except for him. He was the only one trying to do anything, and he got the goal to get him back into the game. Obviously, it didn't mean anything in the end, but he was like, I remember watching that game thinking, why are you here, bro? You're too good for this team. You're the only one actually bothering to try and get anything. But we're also seeing him use his right foot a lot more now. 2 of his goals came from that side, and obviously that's also been a bit of an issue. He was a bit one-dimensional. You always knew, okay, cool, if we can get him onto his right foot, there's no real danger. Whereas now defenders will start thinking, okay, can go on that side. How do we stop him? And yeah, Cole Palmer, I mentioned him as well. It's just a typical Palmer performance, ain't it? Goal and 3 assists. World class. I don't care what anyone says, man. He is top level. Pedro Neto also came on, got an assist against his old club. And what I will say though, in that first half, Caicedo as a lone 6 did not look comfortable. Lavia is essential if Chelsea are going to do well this season. Finally, Liverpool against Brentford. Game went how I predicted, 2-0. I will say though, Liverpool's atmosphere in this game was atrocious. They were silent for the first 60 minutes of the game. The first goal was a proper clock counter-attack goal though, man, from an opposition corner, the way they raced on the pitch. Really nice goal. Jota was a bit lucky to stay on the pitch because he did elbow Collins, and I can't lie, another day he could have been sent off. Lewis Potter was Brentford's only real good player. He got past Trent Alexander-Arnold far too easy on multiple occasions. He just didn't have the final ball. And when he got taken off, I knew there was no chance for him to get anything. Both keepers had to make a couple decent saves, but yeah, Liverpool in the second half were brilliant, man. It was like the game against Ipswich, a pretty poor first half, although this first half wasn't anywhere near as bad as that. But in the second half, they were brilliant. Gravenberch was fantastic. Those are my thoughts on this game week. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and I'll see you soon for another video.